Hi everyone, lesson 9.3, order of operations today. So what we're going to learn is how do we use the order of operations to simplify expressions? So with exponents. So below you see an expression. Remember that an expression is just a number sentence, which means that it has multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, some or all of those operations with more than one number. That is an expression. There's no equal sign, but we do have just kind of a long number sentence. So if you see below here, I have 9 minus 3 times 2 plus 4 divided by 2. This is a number sentence. I'd like you to pause the video and solve. So if you'll notice, there's lots and lots of different ways to do this. Some of you might have just gone straight through and done 9 minus 3 is 6 times 2 plus 4 divided by 2, and then said 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4 divided by 2. 12 plus 4 is 16 divided by 2, and you get an answer of 8. That is, however, incorrect. So what the order of operations is telling us that there's a specific way to do this problem in order to get the correct answer. And if I'm going to get the correct answer here, I'm actually going to multiply first. Then I'm going to divide. Then I'm going to subtract. And finally, I'm going to add. So my correct answer here should be 5. So what we're going to learn today is the actual correct order to do any sort of expression like this. Somebody at the end of this, please remind me that I have a video that we need to watch as a class. So what the order of operations are is the correct way or order in which to perform operations. Remember, operations is a fancy word for multiply, divide, add, subtract. In the order of operations, the first thing that we do is we perform anything within parentheses. Okay, parentheses can look like this. They could be brackets. They're also the top of a fraction bar. Then we find the value of numbers with exponents. Remember, that's like 7 to the second power or 3 to the fourth power. Third, we multiply or divide from left to right. This is super important. This left to right here means that whichever comes first. So if we have 9 times 3 divided by 2, it means that we would have to multiply first and then divide. But if we had 9 divided by 3 times 2, we would actually have to do this division before we multiplied. So we start at the left side of our problem and we move through the problem like that. Our fourth step is actually to add or subtract from left to right. So this is the same type of situation. If I had 9 plus 3 minus, undo, 9 plus 3 minus 2, I would have to add 9 plus 3 before I subtracted. But if the subtraction sign came first, 9 minus 3 plus 2, I would have to do 9 minus 3 before I could add the 2. So these are the same step. However, it does matter the order. So we have certain acronyms for remembering this. We remember this by PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. And we can remember this by please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P is for parentheses, E is for exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. It is important to remember, however, that these two can be interchanged depending on which one comes first. We do left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. We can switch these around depending on which one comes first. So what we're going to do next is this problem together. Using our order of operations, or PEMDAS, we're going to go through this like a checklist. The first thing that we're going to do is parentheses. So I'm going to find my parentheses here, and I'm going to do anything inside of them. Now, if we notice, there's a subtraction and a division. In my order of operations, I still have to follow this inside my parentheses. So because divide is before subtract, we have to divide first. So I know 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now, when we do order of operations, it's super important that we step everything out. So everything I haven't used yet, I am going to bring down. So I've got 2 to the 4th power minus 5 times, and then parentheses 10 minus 8 plus 3. Now, I see that I have not finished my parentheses yet, this step, so I can't be done. I can't move on yet. So I know that 10 minus 8 is 2, and now I've solved everything in my parentheses. So I'm going to bring down everything else I haven't used yet, and I'm going to cross off this P. I've used it up. Parentheses is over. The next step is exponents. So I see that I have 2 to the 4th power. Now, we learned in lesson 9.1 that 2 to the 4th power, and I'm going to do this over to the side, is the same as repeating 2 4 times and multiplying them all together. So 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16. So to solve my exponents here, 2 to the 4th power, I'm going to replace it with a 16 because 2 to the 4th power is 16. Then I'm going to carry through everything that I have yet to have used. Cross off my E because I have no more exponents. Next is multiplication and division from left to right. So I look through, and the first thing I come to, this is minus, so I can't do that yet, is a multiply. So I actually have to do 5 times 2, which is 10, before I can do anything else. And I notice I did my multiplication. There was actually no division, so I can cross that step out as well. Now I add and subtract from left to right. So I'm going to start over here on the left, and I'm going to move through, and I see that subtraction actually comes before addition. So I have to do 16 minus 10 is 6 before I can add 3 to get 9 as my answer. So I've added and I've subtracted, and now I get that my answer is 9. When we are writing expressions, it's a very different, not very different. It's a different kind of process here, is that we have to write the expression before we can solve it. So when I read this, it says Sam bought 4 CDs for $13 each. Sales tax for the CDs was $12. So when my question asks me to write an expression, that means that I have to write everything that I read in this sentence in a number sentence before I can actually solve. So the first thing that I'm going to look at here is this 4 CDs for $13 each. Now, if I'm in a store and I'm buying 4 CDs and each CD costs $13, I know that I can do 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13. But because that's repeated multiplication, I can simplify it to say $13 each times 4 CDs would give me the total. But then here we also know that sales tax was $12. Now that's a one-time fee. I don't have to pay $12 for each CD. I just have to pay an additional $12. So I would have to add $12 here. So this right here, 13 times 4 plus 12, is my expression. I can solve this expression to figure out how much Sam paid in all. So 13 times 4 plus 12 will give me that answer. Now, remembering PEMDAS, I know that I have to do parentheses first, and there are no parentheses. Then I have to do exponents, and there are no exponents. Multiply, divide. Now I do see that there is some multiplication, so I can do multiplication first. So 13 times 4. I know 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 plus 12 is 52. and I have to still add. Now, there's no subtraction, so add, subtract. This is my last step. 52 plus 12. 2 plus 2 is 4. 10 plus 50 is 60. So I get that Sam paid $64 in total. Go ahead here and pause the video, and I want you to try this first problem. So when we're solving this, I always like to write PEMDAS at the top of my page to remind me of my order of operations. So first I'm going to look for parentheses. There are no parentheses, so I can skip that step. Exponents is next. Now there are exponents here. So 3 to the second power is the same as 3 times 3, which is 9. Some of us are going to get tripped up there, but remember that it's 3 times 3, not 3 times 2. Then I'm going to bring down the rest of what I have here. After exponents is multiply, divide. There is no multiply, there is a divide, so I'm just going to do 18 divided by 9 is 2 first. And then add, subtract. There is just addition left, so 5 plus 2 is 7. Go ahead and pause and try this problem. Okay, this one's a little trickier. If you remember correctly, when I was talking about parentheses, I said that parentheses could be at the top of a fraction as well. So actually, 3 to the second power is both parentheses and exponents. So I'm going to do that first. 21 plus 3 times 3 is 9 over 3. Now, add or multiply, divide would be next. This is still a little tricky. Whenever we have a number written as a fraction like this, we can simplify it using division. So this actually reads as 21 plus 9 divided by 3. So I know that 9 divided by 3 is 3, and that just leaves me with addition at the end. So 24 would be my answer here. Go ahead and pause and try these last two problems. Our next problem here, if I need to rewrite it, I will. PEMDAS is parentheses first. I see 9 divided by 3 is in the parentheses, so that is what I have to do first. Because our little floating 2 here, our exponent, is outside the parentheses, it means that we're squaring whatever the answer is inside the parentheses. So because 9 divided by 3 is 3, that little floating 2 is just going to attach to that 3. So we've done our parentheses. Next is exponents. I see that I have 3 squared. Remember, 3 squared is 3 repeated twice. And we are multiplying, which is 9. And then my last step is 4 times 9, which is 36. Over here, again, we've got that kind of tricky top. We have parentheses here, so we have to do that first. 12 minus 8 would be 4. So I get 8 plus 4, our exponent attaches to whatever the answer was inside of our parentheses, divided by 2. If you'll notice, I'm working down my page, not across. Now I have exponents, so 8 plus 4 times 4 is 16 divided by 2. Then I have to divide. 16 divided by 2 is 8, so I get 8 plus 8, which is an answer of 16. Next, we're going to do this practice problem, which is writing an expression. So I want you to pause your video, and I want you to write an expression for this. It says, Walt bought 2 TVs for $159 each. He also bought a candy bar for 89 cents. Write an expression to show how much Walt paid in all. So we are not solving yet. I want an expression first. Go ahead and pause and write your expression. So looking at this, I see Walt bought 2 TVs for the same price. Remember, this could be 159 plus 159, but repeated addition is just multiplication. So I'm going to do 2 times 159. That'll give me the price for both TVs. Then he also bought a candy bar for 89 cents. Now, he only bought one candy bar, so that's just an additional price. So we're going to add 89 cents to this. So our expression is 2 times 159 plus 89 hundredths or 89 cents. So to solve this, we have to do our multiplication first, and then we can add our 89 cents. So I know that 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 5 is 100, so we're at 118. And 2 times 2 is, or 2 times 1 is 2, so that's 200 plus 118 would be $318 plus 89 cents. So we find that Walt paid $318.89 total. All right, at this point, we are going to go and work on some whiteboards together, and then we will do our homework assignment, which will be out of the book. I don't believe I have a worksheet for you. If I do, I'll hand it out now. But out of the book, and I can probably tell you here, your homework assignment will be on page, give me one second, 253. So page 253, and you are going to do numbers 9 through 14, all of them. So that's problems 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we're going to do whiteboards and markers when everyone is done watching this lesson, and then we will do some homework assignment. Thank you all for watching and paying attention. Let's pause our video now.